when we have a table of input and output, we can get to an equation about it, but first let's figure out what's happening. And so the relationship that we have in the first one is an easy one where we say, well, it looks like a times 3 relationship. 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 equals 6, 3 times 3. So you say this is a times 3 machine, and if you think of the input as x and the output as y, it's y, what comes out equals 3 times what goes in. The other one is more complicated. And so you look at it and say, well, it's times 15. No, it's not times 15. And what you do is you say, well, from here to here is plus 1, and from here to here is plus 5. So it looks like I'm taking the output. Then you say, okay, well, let's check another one. And you don't have any that are right next to each other, but you say, oh, from 4 to 6 is plus 2, and from 30 to 40 is plus 10. So if I added 2 on the input, I got plus 10. Added 1, I got plus 5. So what's happening here is you're taking the input, the x, and you're multiplying it by 5. So we figured that out, but now we're not sure. It's not starting out at 0. Here, when you put in 0, you get out 0, but it doesn't look like that's what's going to happen here. So let's see what happens. So let's see if we can do it this way. So y equals 5x plus something. We don't know what. Okay, so 15, we'll try this one. 15 equals 5 times 1 plus something. How about the next one? 20 equals 5 times 2 plus something. Well, let's see, 5 plus what is 15? 10 plus what is, oh, it's plus 10. So we say, okay, this machine looks like it's 5x plus 10. Okay, so whatever I put in, I'm going to add 10 to it. I'm going to multiply it by 5 and then add 10 to it. So let's see if that's true for this one. So 9 times 5 plus 10 equals 55. 45 plus 10 equals 55. Okay, so that's the way you do it. You see how much did the input go up, how much did the output come up, and then once you have that, see if you're adding or subtracting something. Because now, let's look at the example from MathMapper. And so we had, I'm sorry. So we have 8 goes to 6, okay? 10 goes to 7.5. Okay, so think of this as what you're putting in, input, output. So if I put in 8 days, I get out 6 inches of growth, 10 days. So if I go up 2 days, plus 2 days, I went up 1.5. Okay, so how much is that each day? It's 3/4, 0.75 per day. Okay, so it's a little more complicated. Let's see if we can get this thing to behave here. And then if we look here, we see what happened here. So they didn't give you as easy numbers to work on. But if I went up 7, so I go up 7 days, I go up from 30 to 35.5. So I went up from 34.25, take away 30, I went up 5.25. Well, let's see, is that, what's 0.75 times 7? Well, let's see, it's a 35 and it's a 490. Put those together and you get 5.25. Okay, so what I've figured out is that each day, so if I put a day in, each day I'll get an extra height of 0.75. Okay. And another way to look at it is, well, after 8 days, is 8 times 0.75 6? Yes, it is. So it works from 0. So the function that we have is that the height equals 0.75 times the days. Okay, So your y equals 0.75x. But in this case, it's really the height is, so for each day I grow 3/4. Okay, so you could even make a little graph of it. Okay, so you could say, all right, day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. So this is saying that this is a linear function, right? So it goes from 0. Then the first day I'm not quite to 1. The second day I'm at 1.5. Third day I'm at 2.25. The fourth day I get to 3. So I've got this line like this. And we're going to learn that this is the slope is 0.75 of this line.